This is the 2021 BMW X5 xDrive45e, and it is the best of the last 2 centuries. Let me explain that. First of all, it is an SUV, which is what sells nowadays. I don't know why, but that's how it is. But also, it's a very good looking one, especially in a daring color like this tanzanite blue. It's absolutely gorgeous. Second reason is the drivetrain. 394 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque, coming from an inline 6-cylinder 3-liter engine, the turbocharged B58, which we love, and an electric motor built into the transmission. So even in EV mode, it still is all-wheel drive thanks to xDrive. Third reason is the amazing ride quality. I mean, this thing on the road is as comfortable as Steve-O is shoving things up his bottom. Fourth reason is, of course, luxury. This interior is top-notch. It even has some nice crystal stuff for extra bling. Fifth reason is fuel economy and carbon footprint. The more you plug it in, the less gas it uses. But if you want to go far, you can do it one shot without having to stop and spend an hour looking at hoes on Instagram while the car charges. So for everything that really matters in this world, this car has you covered. Even the engine sounds pretty good when it kicks in. That's a good soundtrack right there. Final point is that it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. In Canada, the X545e starts from $83,500, and this car as tested, which is fully loaded, is $101,000. It has tons of driving modes, and thankfully, lots of customizable ones too. My favorite one is the electric individual, which sets the car to the most efficient mode, but also I can pick to have my steering set to sport, because I like the heavier feel. You also have Sport, Sport Individual, Hybrid, Eco Pro, Electric, Standard, and Individual, and of course Adaptive, which works really well. In this generation, the top speed of EV mode has increased to 135 kilometers an hour. Previously, it was 120. Now, the battery has also increased in size. It's now 24 kilowatt hours. So you can go, depending on the test cycle they do, they rate it from between 45 to 95 kilometers. I know that's a crazy difference. In real world situations and mostly city driving, I think you can easily do between 50 to 60 kilometers, which honestly is very good. The battery packs are under the rear seats, so the trunk is not really affected. You do lose 150 liters compared to conventional X5, but you still get 500 liters, which is great. And I do love the split power tailgate and the fact that you can lower the suspension for easier loading. But honestly, none of that matters. This thing is just so comfortable and quiet. Like, that's the absolute highlight. It's like almost Rolls-Royce level of comfort. Like, seriously, I can't tell you enough about how smooth, quiet, and comfortable this car is. I mean, it is insane. However, once you step on it, the most detuned ever B58 engine, which alone makes 280 horsepower and 331 pound-feet of torque, works together with the 111 horsepower EV motor that also makes another 195 pound-feet of torque. So the combined figures are 389 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque, and that is good to launch this 2.4-ton SUV to 100 kilometers an hour in 5.4 seconds. They claim 5.6 seconds, but we beat it by 0.2 seconds. Honestly, this car, once everything is up and running, it flies. And for people that live near the Autobahn, top speed is 235 kilometers an hour. That'll get you wherever you're going pretty quickly. Our test car has all the M packages too, so it gets nice big brakes and wheels and M bumpers. All the other awesome little M touches too. I love it. And of course, once you run out of battery power, you can hook it up to your other X5 we have here, our Flow Level 2 home charger, which is Canadian made and simply put, the best charger you can own today in terms of quality and reliability and usability and so on. Check out the link in the description because this thing rocks. An unexpected drawback is that even though our charger is capable of 30 amps, the car restricts the charging to 16 amps. So from empty to full, it's going to take about 6.5 to 7 hours on a level 2 charger. That's still okay for like overnight charging, but let's say you want to go home and quickly charge and get another 50, 60 kilometers. That's not possible. And that is a negativo point with this car. However, the more you plug it in, the cheaper it will be to run. We've averaged about 4 liters per 100 kilometers when plugging it in every night. That number can vary from 0 liters per 100 kilometers to about 12 liters per 100 kilometers if you never plug it in. I know a lot of people complain about owners that buy plug-in hybrids and then never plug them in, but even then it's not bad because as a hybrid using its regeneration, however, the pedal doesn't really, you can't do one pedal driving. That's another negative point maybe. But nevertheless, as a regular hybrid, this thing is pretty efficient too. The interior looks and feels great. The materials are fantastic and the build quality is impeccable. Technology is also impressive. I really love the backup assistant that can play back in reverse your last 50 meters to help you get out of whatever tight situation you might be in. I love the full screen wireless CarPlay and the digital instrument cluster with the animated view of the cars around you. The sound system is also killer. Comfort-wise, well, I have all the room in the world up here. The seats are phenomenal. They support the body perfectly and they're so adjustable. And roominess is pretty generous in the back as well. Legroom and headroom are really good, and the seats are also very comfortable. You also have some nice amenities like curtains, climate control, and USB ports behind the seats. Because the battery packs are positioned underneath the rear seats, the center of gravity on this car is pretty low, so it should handle pretty well around corners. However, with its smoothness and quietness and it's so refined, it really doesn't put you in the mood to tackle any corners at speed. However, when you do, it's not bad at all. As we mentioned before, it does have a sport mode, which when you pick, you can gun it and holy shit, does it go and does it turn. But honestly, it's a bit more satisfying when you drive it nicely and quietly. But still, this thing, holy hell, does it turn. Wow. When you push it into the corners, it does feel heavy, but it does manage its weight really well. You can feel it understeer initially, but then the rear kicks in and kind of, makes it settle down. It's a regular X5. I don't see any difference. It grips and it's great, but it feels heavy because it is. The steering in comfort mode is totally disconnected. It feels like, kind of hospital food or off-season tomatoes, but you can fix that with the individual modes. It can also tow 2.7 tons, and its ground clearance can be increased on demand if you need to do some off-roading. This thing is really the best of all worlds in every single way. It won't go very far off-road, but it'll try. The hybrid drivetrain is one of the smoothest drivetrains I've ever experienced. I mean, the way everything goes on and off and how one goes in and one goes out and all that stuff, the transitions are fantastic. It's so smooth. The only complaint is when you're driving in hybrid or electric, so when the engine is actually off, when you decide to stop on the gas and, giddy up, it does take a second. So as I will demonstrate right now, I am in hybrid mode, cruising around, kick down. That's like almost a full second, almost two, until everything, is up to speed. However, when you're driving in sport mode, because why wouldn't you? I mean, it is a BMW after all. So I'm cruising along, engine is on, but it's in like a high gear, so just cruising along, kick down. Much faster because you get first the electric surge and then the engine comes in. So, it's not bad. Another thing I really like is on the rev counter, which is now basically a power meter from 0 to 100. It shows you with a little blue line how much you can step on the gas to keep it in EV mode before the gas engine kicks in. And that kind of has like a little sticky thing, so once you press the pedal a bit, it will go to the maximum EV power, but it won't go over it. So it kind of helps you, it gives you a big threshold between where you can position your foot on the gas and it will like stick to maximum EV, and from there to make it go into the gas you have to like really step on it. So it makes it very easy for you to stay in EV. I mean, it kind of slows you down, but it helps because I think that most owners would probably want to do that. Last point I want to bring up is that this thing on the highway has really good driving assistance. So the assisted driving mode works very well. It keeps the lanes, distances. It has automatic lane change. It is fantastic, and I really like this Tesla-inspired view in the instrument cluster where you can see everything around you. Honestly, in terms of technology, this car does everything it needs to, and then some. No complaints. This is a fantastic ride. So, overall score then is 9 out of 10, just because it's not a car everybody can buy. But in this world that's shifting into EVs, well, in the interim, I think this is one of the best cars you can own. So that's it for today and the BMW X5 xDrive45e. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, press the like button if you like the video, but most importantly, be well. Till next time, take care.
Perfect.